Men understand the violence of some men. Men understand how quickly violence can ensue between men. It's now our turn, women, to understand and listen to it. We need men to fight off men. For example, your father, which is a man, would fight off an intruder, which will most likely be a man, right?
It's Amber J. Lee. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And let's learn, pretty girls. And also, while you're here, just follow my Instagram as I also post updates.
If a woman is having a hard time understanding what I'm saying, then this video isn't for you. I feel like only a certain person with a certain kind of mind can understand where I'm coming from. And women who know how harsh the world can get and how evil the world can get and how people are not nice. Women and children are not as protected as they should be. They aren't. In utopia they are, but in the real world where demons and goons roam, they understand that women and children are the least protected class. I'm talking to those women who understand that there are crazy people everywhere and men can't control crazy men. And I feel like a lot of women think that crazy people can be tamed, but they can't. You can't say words and stopping people from being crazy. If that was the case, we wouldn't need cops, we wouldn't need prisons, and it's the reason why we have law enforcement. We have literal people walking around called police that enforce the law because people know it's wrong and they refuse to listen. Why do you think that gas stations have places where they don't even let people in at a certain time? People know that robbing a gas station is wrong, but they still do it. It's still being done. So I can't stand the women who say, just tell men to stop. I can show you, you know what? This is a woman right here who before she was attacked, she said, no, stop. That man knew she'd said stop. And he kept going. Words don't enforce the law. People also know not to steal. You can say stop stealing, but that will not take somebody's hands and stop them from stealing. So the women I'm talking to are women who understand that, because some women think that just saying stop will stop a man. Like, you don't think women who are unalived didn't say stop? You think she was just like, no, she said stop, she screamed for help, and that person kept going. So I'm talking to women who understand that logic. Even though men aren't supposed to hit women, we live in a world where men will hit women. Men will hit a woman, no questions asked. I have seen it. I have been to clubs where I've seen a man punch a woman dead in her face. I've seen it. And men just stood there and did nothing. I've seen it. Heterosexual couples have the highest DV rate. They don't. It's actually lesbians. LGBTQ, same-sex couples have the highest, and after that, it's heterosexual couples. I can go to the government website is right here. This is proven. So heterosexual couples are after same-sex couples with DV, right? What I wanted to say is we have to protect ourselves. It's time for us now to protect ourselves because men will hit you. We don't live in utopia where telling a man not to hit you will work. Men will hit you. That's just the world we live in. And all men can't control crazy men. Some men know better. Like, my father never hit my mother. My father and my mother are still together to this day. He knows better. But that doesn't mean Pookie down the street know better. Pookie may sure well punch me in my face because Pookie don't know no better and Pookie don't care to learn better. But my dad, a man, is going to have to go after Pookie, another man, to enforce the law, not hitting a woman, right? So if you understand that, you're going to understand everything else I'm saying. I hate that I even have to break it down like this to some people. But what I really wanted to say is these cases have been happening all over the world. Look at this case. This is a young woman. Another person. These are situations where people are jumping in altercations and being unalived as a result of it. These are not police officers. These people do not have to enforce the law. People more likely are to sit back and call the police for you than jump in. And I hate to say it, but if it was my daughter and I see somebody doing something, I would tell her, call the police. Go to a safe place and call the police. It's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with that. If someone wants to jump in, great. But if they don't, that's fine too. Them calling the police is enough. If you saying that somebody else should jump in and do that, then you're selfish. Men are afraid of other men, so women are afraid of them too. Some people are too afraid to jump in. They don't live that lifestyle, and you can't make them. They're allowed to say, I'm too afraid to jump in, so my next best step is calling the police. And that's good enough too. Stop making people become the police because they end up on t-shirts. It's not their job to enforce the law. The more of these stories coming out of people just getting unalive, jumping in people's business, it's the reason why people don't want to help. because they're afraid I'm going to be unalived next. Oh, look what they're doing to this person. I'm going to be next. People are terrified. And I don't blame them. Look at the world we live in today. Get off social media and look at the world we live in today. It's cruel, it's hard, and people out here are not trying to make it a better place. What can we do about it? We telling them to go to therapy, they won't do it. What can we do about it? Nothing. So you know what we have to do as women? Protect ourselves. Protect ourselves. It's wicked people everywhere. Protect yourselves. You don't know how many mothers on TikTok have commented on my video and say, I wish my son would have just minded his business. I wish my son would have just called the police instead of intervening. I wish my son would have did this, that, and the third because he got involved. He got too deep in somebody else's. Oh, I wish my son wouldn't have got involved because he got involved between two couples and now they're back together. My son is gone. I know so many women who comment that on my TikTok, which made me make this video. People aren't the police and they don't have to be. People can very much so say, I'm too scared to intervene, but I will call the police for you, and they have that right. Saying they should do more is entitlement. They didn't sign up to enforce the law, the cops did. Know the world you live in. Know the world you live in. We don't live in utopia. We live in an evil and sick world. Pedophiles run this world. Hollywood is real. Hollywood is real. We have to protect ourselves. We can't rely on other people to do it. Relying on other people for safety is a death wish. Welcome to the real world.